If you are a credit repair company or if you're trying to fix your own credit, well, I'm going to show you the most feared dispute letter that debt collectors hate. And I'm going to show you that coming up. Now, the letter that I'm talking about is called the debt validation letter. Now, you can use this letter even before an account hits your credit report. Now, say, for example, no collection account hit your credit report, but you received a dunning letter in the mail from the collection agency asking you for money. Now, you can use this letter to counter and respond to the collection agency when they're threatening to sue you or if they're asking you to pay money and you know you don't owe them. You can also use this powerful debt validation letter if you look at your credit report and you see that there's a collection account on your credit report. Now, let me show you this letter right now. All right, so what I'm going to do is I made this letter very big so you can see exactly what's going on here in this letter, right? Because I'm going to break this letter down for you step by step. I'm going to go over the entire debt validation letter so you understand the type of letter that you're sending out. I want you to understand before you start sending out debt validation letters to the collection agency, you understand exactly what you're doing. Now, I'm not an attorney, so don't take this for legal advice. This is information only, but I do have a lot of experience in the credit repair industry. So let's break down this letter step by step so you can understand how to work it. All right. So one of the first things you want to do whenever you're sending a debt validation letter to a collection agency, you want to make sure you put your full name there, right? You want your full name there. All right, let's go ahead and highlight that there. You want your full name and you want your address, right? Now, why do I want my full name and why do I want my address there? Because the debt collector need to verify who you are, right? They need to verify that you are this person and they need to verify your address as well. Now, you do not need to include your social security number or your date of birth because they already have that information. So that's not necessary. So don't include that. Just include your full name and your address. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have the debt collector's address as well. And you also want to include today's date. Now, the reason why you want to make sure you have the collector's address because you want to make sure this debt validation letter gets to the debt collector, right? Especially if they send you a dunning letter saying that you owe this money and that you need to respond to us within 30 days. Now, remember, when they send you a dunning letter, the collection account is not on your credit report yet. So you don't want to ignore the dunning letter because if you ignore the dunning letter and you don't send a debt validation letter to the collection agency, they're going to put it on your credit report because that is their way of trying to collect money from you. So you have to be smart here and you have to send a debt validation letter every single time you get these type of dunning letters from the collection agency. All right. So you always want to put their correct address and you want to put today's date. And the reason why you want to do today's date is because you want to make sure that you're going to track the date that you sent this debt validation letter back to the collector, right? We want to track that just in case they put it on your credit report and you have to sue them. So that's the purpose that you want to make sure you include the date. So let's go ahead and read this letter. Now, right here is the account number. So that's pretty self-explanatory. And you want to make sure you got the account number right. Don't leave out the account number. If you leave out the account number, how's the debt collector going to know that it's your account? You didn't give them your social. You didn't give them a date of birth. So how are you going to know? How are they going to know? So you can't leave out the account number. Make sure you double check that you have the account number as well. All right. Now let's read this letter. Now this is exactly what you're going to say to the debt collector. Dear collections department, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm reaching out not to deny my responsibilities, but to ask for a detailed validation of this debt. You have claimed, the key word here is claim, right? Because you don't know if you owe this debt or not, right? It could be a scam. So that's the key word, claim. Just because they say you owe something, it doesn't mean you turn over and you start paying something, right? What if it's a scam? Like, what if it's there's so many scams going on. What if it's a scam? But you need to respond to it, right? Because you don't know if it's a scam or not, right? All right. That you claim, let's go back. Let's see here. Hold on. I'm reaching out not to deny my responsibilities, but to ask for a detailed validation of the debt you've claimed under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Now that's the law, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. This is the law that allows you to ask for this debt validation. Specifically, Section 15 USC 1692G, Section 809B. This isn't about confirming my address. I need concrete proof of my obligations to settle this debt with you. Okay? Now, this right here, I don't too much like this particular paragraph. So I'm going to change this paragraph. It says, I need concrete proof of my obligations to settle this debt with you. Now, I don't like this, so we're going to change this here because you don't want to admit that you owe the debt, right? So I'm going to modify that. Now, the reason why I'm doing this because I'm showing you guys if you get a template debt validation letter from the internet, or if you get a template somewhere in a software or in a kit, you have to review the letter and you have to modify the letter. Don't just send the letter the way it is. Just like I just showed you, right? You never state that you owe the debt because you don't know that you owe the debt. You don't even know who this debt collection company is. So you don't say my obligations. You don't say that, I'm claiming that I owe the debt. You remove that, you strike that right from the letter because you never admit that you owe the debt because you need more information to find out who this debt collector is and why they are trying to collect the debt from you. You should always pay your response. You should always pay any debts that you owe, but don't claim that you owe this debt at this stage because you're trying to figure out who this person is and could this be identity theft? All right. All right, so we're going to scratch that out, right? Now, here's what you want to ask. Could you kindly provide the following details? The reason for the debt and what it pertains to. A breakdown of how the amount was determined. Any agreement that bear my signature indicating my consent to pay the specific amount. Now, this one is very important right here, right? Because you see, a lot of gurus say that you can request for an original contract. Yeah, you can request for the original contract, but according to the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, they're not required to send you a original contract. Now, if they don't send it to you, then you just go to the creditor and ask the creditor for the original contract, right? You ask the creditor, hey, you trying to collect this debt from me? Send me the original contract, right? But the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act does not mandate the debt collector to send you the original contract. Now, if you really want to get the original contract, then you have to sue the debt collector in court, and in discovery, you can request for the original contract. Now, there are certain things that the law mandates the debt collector to send to you, and let's go over that right now. Okay, they are required to send information about the debt, right? Who's the creditor? Who's the creditor? The creditor's name, the amount you owe. Okay, the name of the creditor, the address of the creditor. They are required to send basic information to you so you can look at this basic information and determine, hey, did I owe that debt? Do I really owe that debt? Is that really my debt? Right? But they're not required to send you, the original contract. Now, there's some case laws, there's some statutes, there's some cases that say, hey, they should send you the original contract, but that's cases, that's lawyer stuff, right? And we're not talking about lawyer stuff right now. So let's continue. All right. So if there's a judgment involved, send me a copy would be helpful. The name of the original creditor, they definitely got to send you that. The name of the original creditor, assurance that the statute of limitation for this debt hasn't happened. That's very important because the statute dictates if the debt collector can still sue you. So you're asking the debt collector, send me some information about the statute because you want to know, can they take me to court? Can they sue me for this debt, right? So the statute is very important, and every state has a different statute, and that's for another video. Your authorization to collect debt in my state, including your license number and the name of your legal representative. Now, this is another key thing as well, because some debt collectors try to collect in your state when they don't have the right to collect in your state, or they don't have a license to collect in your state. That's another video I'm going to do. So if you ask for it, are they required to send it to you? I don't believe they are required to send it to you. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but from my understanding and my experience, they're not required to send it to you, right? But you can ask for it, right? And you can use it as an argument if they don't send it. You can also check your state, Secretary of State's website, and see if they're registered to collect in your state, right? So these are little things you can do with the debt collector. Now, this is a breakdown of what you want to ask the debt collector. Now, are they going to send you all this information? Probably not. But they do got to send you some basic information, right? Now, let's keep going. I must also inform you that if I discover any inaccuracies reported by your agency to the credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, it could lead to a legal repercussions for potential fraud. Now, I don't know. I don't agree with that statement right there. Okay, I don't agree with that particular statement, right? So you don't want to use this type of language that it's, repercussions for potential fraud. You don't want to that's very strong language, right? That's very strongly. So I would strike that out of the letter. Potential fraud, right? I would strike that out of the letter, right? You could say something like, if you continue reporting this and you don't provide me with proof, you may seek legal advice, right? Or you'll file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau or the BBB, or you get some legal action will happen, right? But not the fraud. So I would go ahead and strike that. I would strike that right from the letter. Okay. All right, let's continue. Should there be any negative remarks from your end on my credit reports without proper validation? Now that's good. I like that one. Without proper validation, I'll be compelled to define my rights, which is correct. Defend my rights, which may include legal actions for violations of relevant acts and defamation. Okay, so now we're talking. Right? So if you feel like they didn't validate the debt, but yet they put it on your credit report, or they're still trying to collect it, and you can file complaints. You can file complaints with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. You can file complaints with BBB. You can even get debt collector lawyers, consumer right attorneys that specialize in suing debt collectors to help you out, right? So you got something there. There's something that's going there, right? All right, let's keep going. All right, so until I receive and review the requested documentation, I ask that all collection efforts be paused. Any detrimental activity on my credit reports during this period will prompt me to seek legal advice. Should you fail to respond within 30 days, they do have 30 days. Okay, so they do have 30 days. They got to respond. That's why I always say never ignore the dunning letter. A dunning letter is a letter that the collector sends to you asking you for money, right? So they do got to respond. But if they don't respond, then they can't continue collecting. All right. I expect the complete removal of this matter from my credit records with written confirmation sent to me from all three major credit bureaus. Lastly, I prefer that all future communication be in writing and sent via USPS to the address mentioned in this letter. Please refrain from calling me. At home or work. I trust you will review your records thoroughly to prevent any unnecessary legal proceedings. Any information provided will be used solely to rectify your records. Sincerely. Then you put your name, your current address. Don't put your social security number. You see what I'm saying? Do not put your social security number, and do not put your date of birth. You see right here? That's why it's important for you guys to, read these templates that you're using, and to go through these templates and modify these templates and make sure that you remove certain language that's not needed. All right. So that's a debt validation letter. It's very powerful. And these are the type of letters that you want to send to debt collectors. If you get a dunning letter from a collector saying that you owe money, but it's not on your credit report, or if it's on your credit report and you feel that it's inaccurate, right? Then you can also send this type of debt validation letter to the collection agency and ask them to remove it if they cannot prove or validate the debt. Now, what I want to show you now, I want to show you inside of the Client Dispute Manager software how easy it is to send out these debt validation letters and how you can manage your debt validation letters through the whole process, from sending it to the collector and then tracking it. Did they receive it, and when should you follow up with them, right? So you can do all of this inside of the Client Dispute Manager, and it's very easy to do. It's very straightforward and it's very simple. So let me show you right now. All right, so I'm logged into the Client Dispute Manager, and I'm going to show you exactly how this works. And remember, the Client Dispute Manager is primarily a credit repair business software. It's a credit repair business software where you can monitor your customers. You can process all of the disputes for your customers. Now, if you want to fix your own credit, you can also use it for that as well. But it's designed for credit repair companies to process thousands of customers using all the various techniques and methods and dispute letters that we have inside of the Client Dispute Manager. So let me show you how to do this with the debt validation. So what I'm going to do is go over to collectors right here. We have a tab strictly for collectors. We focus strictly on collectors, right? Now, say for example, we want to send out that debt validation letter that I was telling you about, right? So you can either go right here to general letters, and you can find debt validation letter account on the credit report. That means that the negative account is already on your credit report. That's what it means. It means the negative account is already in your credit report. So you want to send out this particular letter, or you can go right here to dispute flows, and you send out the initial dispute letter, which is debt validation. This is a dispute flow that fights debt collectors, right? So if you have any negative accounts, any inaccurate collection accounts on your credit report, you can start with the dispute flow, and you can send out the debt validation letter right here. Now, you can also add dispute reasons and instructions right here, or you don't have to add any type of dispute reasons or instructions at all in the debt validation letter, because the letter itself has all of the information you need without telling the debt collector to do anything, right? So let's go back. So I picked this dispute flow letter, which is debt validation. This is the initial letter that you would always send out to a debt collector if you see a inaccurate account on your credit report, then you always want to respond with this debt validation letter. But say, for example, you have a client and there's no collection account on their credit report, but the client said to you that they received a dunning letter in the mail claiming that your client owes money. So how are you going to respond to that, right? So I'm going to show you. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to use the dunning letter respond letter. The dunning letter respond letter, right? So if you click that, you just put in the collector's name, the collector's address, the city, the state, the collector's zip, and the account number or reference number you send to print. And this is a debt collection letter that responds to a dunning letter. So basically, that feature basically means is that the collection account is not on the credit report yet. So we're going to allow you to track the dunning letter that you send out on behalf of your customer when it's not on the credit report yet. So now you can monitor this dunning letter and tell your customer, look, you got to make sure that whenever you get these type of dunning letters, you got to make sure you send it to me so we can respond to the collector on your behalf. And we want to stop the negative, inaccurate information from hitting your credit report because you're not giving me the letters and you're not responding to the debt collector, because we're going to do all that work. We're going to do it for you. So that's how you use the dunning letter section, right? All right. So then basically what you do, you add your debt validation letter here and you click add your dispute. Okay. Let me see. Every letter must have a furniture. The letter stream needs for mailing. Okay. So I have letter stream turned on here. Okay. So I have letter stream turned on, which will automatically mail out this letter for me. So it's asking me to find an address right here. So I'm not going to do that right now. So the bottom line is if I click on add your dispute, it'll go right here and I'll send to print. And when I send to print, it'll get mailed out. You understand? But because we have our automation, one-click print automation automatically turned on, it's asking me to add an address into the letter. So our printing company will automatically mail the letters out for you, right? So I just wanted to show this to you. I wanted to show you our debt validation letters. I wanted to show you our dunning letters. And also one more thing I want to show you is that you can add your own manual letters here as well if you want. You can add hundreds of debt validation or all kind of different debt collector letters like you see right here. You can add manual letters right here, as many as you want, and you can use them in this category as well. All right. So listen, for watching all the way through, I want to give you a 30-day free trial of the Client Dispute Manager. It's all on me, and it also comes with free training on how to start and run a successful credit repair business. And I want to give that to you for absolutely free. Okay, a free 30-day trial. You can try out the AI. We have our AI as well. I don't know if you saw that. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This one here, we have our AI Metro 2 attack letters. Okay, and we give you some free virtual funds for AI letters only, not Metro 2. Metro 2 is for paid members. But just come on over and just click the link right below this video. Click the link right below this video. There's going to be a link below this video. It's going to take you to a registration page. Sign up for the 30-day free trial. If you're fixing your own credit, or if you're running a credit repair business, take advantage of the 30-day free trial. You can run a credit analysis. You can import your credit report. You can we give you some virtual funds to try out our AI, and you can try out our debt validation letter. The letter I just went over with you guys. If you want, you can copy that letter as well, and you can use that letter as well if you want, but just make sure you modify it before you send it out. And thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. And again, click the link right below this video to get your free 30-day trial of the Client Dispute Manager software.